Hello, I'm back out in the garage. Here's my old 59, the flathead. I lost quite a lot of footage yesterday, the last part of the session that I did yesterday. I actually have got 5 of the 8 pistons out, and once the crown was knocked straight off the piston, they knocked out downwards quite easily, to be honest. And there's the pistons laid out there in order from the front of the engine, not in the strict forward firing order. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about this. I need to find a way of getting rid of these piston crowns, and then these can be drifted out. I've tried giving them a knock, but they don't really want to go. The bores are good down the bottom end, but really bad at the top. That might be enough actually to free those up. This one did actually come off. This one's got, at least it's got a gap here. So let's see if I can do something with them. See that moves. On this one here, I've just started smacking it with this chisel on the side there, like that, and it actually started moving. So I'm just going to keep going with that. Lightweight racing job, low compression. Okay, that's got 2 of them out. 2 of the last 3. Now this one's still got crown all the way around, so I've got to still I'll see if I can get it to move with that chisel. I think the chisel's a bit more sort of solid. Just hope I ain't cracked the bore. It's a shame actually, because the bores that had the pistons near the top look pretty good. Okay. Blimey, that was hard work. Whew, okay. There you go. The last one out, number 8. It's amazing that I couldn't bust the top off from underneath, but it came out. But did you see how much tighter the crown was than the rest of the piston? This broke free and just came off. It's a little bit warm here today, and that's quite strenuous work, that, so I'll probably have a little break now. But I lost a load of footage from yesterday in which I kind of shared some thoughts on this. Basically, I'm not looking to do too much with this engine. I'm not looking for another bore and liner exercise, because quite frankly I don't actually need another engine. What bothers me about the crusty Flatty, which is in there in that coupe, there's the crusty Flatty. What bothers me about that engine, although it runs and it drives nice, it don't sound too bright when I rev it. But anybody that followed the build up on that series knows just how sketchy all that bottom end is. All the rods, everything was, as I used to say at the time, less than perfect. This motor, there's a chance that these rods and bearings are better. At least they aren't all rusty like those others were. You know, these might be better. So the thought that's crossing my mind is, why don't I take the crank from this engine, which is there, why don't I take that crank and the rods and the bearings, clean them all up, and then pull this motor take out all the bottom end of it, replace it with those ones and button it back up again. So it's easier to say than done, isn't it? But and then I would end up with a good engine instead of a sort of engine that I'm worried about every time I kind of press it a bit too hard. That's my idea. Whether it will happen or not is another matter, because with all these things, it might be something to do over the winter maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I have managed to get all the pistons out, and I didn't mess about with any penetrant or anything. But because this engine was stored upside down, all the bores on that side were good. All the damage has happened from this side, which was the downward side when it was stored. The top end of this motor is pretty desperate. You can see all the bores look good from downwards from where, I mean, this piston was at the top, look, and the bore, look, you know, that bore actually would probably clean up. I think this would have to be linered, feeling these bores here. Definitely. There's a big chunk out of it there. I don't think it's as bad as the crusty Flatty, because it hasn't got that horrible degradation of the cast iron. This has just got rust. That other engine had some really weird stuff going on. Don't even know if I got rid of it, to be honest. Anyway, hey ho. Got the rods out. I think I might leave it at that. Because this head surface doesn't look very good to me. It's good that there's no cracks on it, but I think it would need decking, and I ain't got facilities for doing that. Hello, just to report that I have successfully removed the rods from the pistons. I just pressed the bushes out. They weren't mega tight, you know, they're just held in the aluminium, aren't they, by a tight tolerance. So there's the things, and I've just put a bit of cardboard in each one with the numbers. These are as they were removed. These are laid out in the order from the front of the engine, but the foremost cylinder is number 5, the second one back is number 1, 6, 2, 7, 3, 8. Number 4. So there's the rods, and I'm just going to put them away because every time I come out I keep tinkering about, and I need to sort of tidy up, put things out of sight so I don't start messing about with them. I can't do anything with this stuff yet. I've got some other things that I want to try and get done. So anyway, I just wanted to report that there's all the rods taken out, and they're going to get put away. There's some of the other bits there as well, looking a bit less than perfect. No, not less than perfect, you know, looking a bit dirty. Look at this. This is how I work. Terrible, isn't it? I am a terribly, terribly, terribly messy worker. I stripped that motor down and I hadn't even put away all the other stuff that I'd got out on the table first. I am hopeless. Okay. Okay. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage then. I'll bring him back when there's something more to show, or if not, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much then. Bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. Today I'm going to try and finish the long drawn out saga of the front shock absorbers. The shock absorbers have arrived from Rock Auto and they're not going to be suitable, but they do have the right eyes both ends and they are the right length, so I can use them to kind of set up the mounts. I've ordered some lighter ones which I hope will do the job. So today I'm going to take these mounts off and try and machine them finished. Here's the shock absorber that I've got. It's a bit too heavy duty for this application. Until you get these things in your hand you don't really know what they're going to be like. So that's how it's going to go, and it's going to have to go about like that, so I've got enough room to get a thread on the end. So what I'm going to do is take this as a pattern and measure and machine this to match that with as long as I can. I may have gone slightly too short on these, but you know, hey ho, that's the way it is. So this is my pattern, and what I'll do, I'll machine it exactly like this, plus a little bit for a washer, and I'll then make a washer that will go on the end there. So I'm going to take the bottom mounts off, take them off, and machine them to emulate this. I don't know why I didn't do that ages ago, but for some reason I thought they would be shorter still and I'd be cutting material off, but as it turns out I may have only just about made them long enough. Okay, I'll bring it back when there's a little bit more to show. I'll just rough it with this tool a bit because it's a bit close to that centre there. Okay, the length's okay. The length's okay. So I need to come down to 5/8, don't I? 0.625. I'll tell you what, I'll change the tool because this tool's no good for this job. you see that it's at an angle to this. It sticks down. And then this is straight, so this is in the chuck. This is quite a good technique. This kind of welds something on to hold, you know, a welding fixture or some sort, you know, some sort of weldment. Okay, that can be fitted on now. Ice, and it clears the shackles. But bear in mind the ones I'm getting will be smaller diameter than this, so they'll fit a little bit better, a little bit more clearance on them. Okay, good, quite pleased with that at long last. And when I get the other shocks, I'll put them on and it'll look a little bit better, a bit less off-roady. Probably when it's all done, I'll put a piece of weld between there and there, like that, there, just to make it so it can't turn. I saw quite a few cars at the weekend, and one or two have had the shock where the shock mounts had turned. Okay, good. Hello, look, I've got the shock absorbers on. These aren't the shock absorbers that I intend to end up with, but they are the same length, but these are a bit bigger diameter. So there's the bottom mount. I don't know if I'm going to use those nuts or not, but I might do. There's the top mount. Everything lines up quite nicely. I've got to trim off that piece on the back. On this side everything's okay. Similar clearances, you know, down there, but bear in mind the shock absorbers that I'm getting will be slimmer, so it'll have more clearance there, but it shouldn't foul anyway, because they shouldn't come together any more than that. And on this one I have trimmed off the piece at the back. So what I would intend to do is tighten them up very tight and then see if they tend to come loose. If they tend to come loose, I'll put a big heavy bead of weld, not really welded all the way around, but a good 1/2 inch bead along the inside, you know, like a heavy tack. So I'm quite pleased with that. Let's try and look from a little bit further away. Get them both on the same picture. So there we are. Not great light at this end of the garage, but you get the idea. And bear in mind, with the weight of the body, the weight of the engine, the weight of the radiator, the water, the hood, it'll all come down a bit lower, and I might even lower it a bit as well. I'm not sure I want it too high. So there we are. So the shock absorbers, I'm calling them done as far as mocked up. You know, I can take everything apart and clean and paint if I want to, or just clean and oil. So there we go. I've spent a very long time doing this because of waiting for the shockers and messing about with the lever arm. I've even had somebody criticising me for spending too long messing about, and I would agree, I have messed about too long. But what you have to understand, this is a back burner project. I'm not going to kill myself trying to build this car quickly. I'm going to do a little bit now and then when I want to. I enjoy messing about with engines like that one over there. That's the old 59 Flatty. I enjoyed taking my T-Bird to a car show. I enjoyed that, getting it running, getting it driving, going for a ride. I had an absolute ball driving the Coupe only 2 days ago. It was great. I enjoyed driving this Coupe, and there's the old crusty Flatty in there. I thrashed this engine to within an inch of its life. I set off with this engine to sort of prove that it would run. Not prove that it would run, but sort of prove against my own better judgment, really, that I could make it run. And it took a complete set of liners and then careful reassembly and cutting all the valve seats and everything to make it run. And it did run, and I raced it, and it was great. I wouldn't intend to race it forever though, because I'm not sure how long it would last. So who knows what will happen to this engine. I can see this engine getting reworked a second time. What I didn't want to do was throw a rod and damage the block, and I didn't do that. But this car was great. It was great fun on the hill at Prescott. And I think I would like to kind of, you know, develop it a little bit further in some way. I don't know how yet, so we'll see. And this one is just a little bit of a time filler. It'd be nice to get it registered, but with the way things are at the moment with the COVID, you know, the sort of backlog that the COVID situation is causing at the licensing place, I can't see this getting registered anytime soon. So let's just see how it goes. I'm not going to kill myself trying to work on it, you know, morning, noon and night. I think actually now that the front shockers are done, what I might do is put the brakes on, even if just, yeah, I might as well put the back plates on, maybe put the brakes on. I might put some hubs on it, put it on some wheels and put it down on the ground, and then sling the back axle under it as well, and then put an engine and box in place, even if just, you know, mock-up items, and then do the engine mounts, look at the back brakes, look at the rear shocks. Maybe those shocks would do for the rear, if, you know, because I'm going to put some slimmer ones on the front. Okay, anyway, that's my little roundup and my little bit of a talk. There's my shocks in place, fully mocked up, ready for everything to be cleaned up, filed and smoothed. Thanks for following along. I know it's not been breakneck progress all the time, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you have other priorities and the projects just have to take their time. But I'm pleased to have achieved getting them front shocks on there, even though, like I said, they're not the ones I'm going to use, but they're good enough for me to say to myself that the mounts are okay. Okay, thanks for dropping in then. Thanks for seeing what I've been up to. Cheers then. Bye. Hello. Look, it's the hood assembly off the 33. There's the 33. It's been hoodless since I put the crusty Flatty in it. I'm going to Prescott in it tomorrow. I'm going to run it up the hill with the crusty Flatty, but I can't guarantee it's not going to rain. So I thought what I'd do is put the hood on, but just to be different, I'll take the hood sides off. I've got the one side off, so I thought I'd repeat the process on the other side and just catch it on film. There's the rod. Just a bit of quarter diameter steel rod. Now the thing is, how am I going to be able to put that on the car myself? Well, it only weighs half of what it weighed before, doesn't it? So I'll just give it a go. This is quite badly damaged here. You see that it kind of needs some repair. It's not the best, this hood. I had a really nice one actually on a, would you believe it, on a glass fibre car, but right. Okay. Oh, that look alright. Well, that looks nice actually, I like that. I like that look on a 33. The radiator looks a bit spindly just on its own, I think, if you go completely hoodless. I might have to just make up like a temporary little elastic strap or something to hold it down. Bracket. I took the bracket off at the back. This is the bracket for the back. My problem now is that I can't prop that up, can I? One of the dog's sticks. Well, that'll work alright, won't it? I'll put the screws in there now. I just took these out earlier. I mean, they've probably been in there since 1933. They just came undone. Amazing, isn't it? It's definitely easier to do this hood without the sides on. It's a right pain with the sides on. Just so you can see where I'm, just so you can see where I'm working. There's the bolt down there, look, and I've got the nut and washer goes underneath. You can see somebody's done some sort of a repair there, look, bit of a lash up. Got a little spanner here, look, that somebody's shortened and thinned down. Snap on. Okay, that'll do. Well, it won't do because there's no latch, but I don't know if they tend to float up as you're driving along. But what I've found is, on my Roadster, if you put like a luggage strap from this side to the other side and just kind of pull them together like that, it stops them coming off. I found a strap. This is a good quality strap, and it was a little bit too long, so I've just put a couple of knots in it there like that to take some of the length out of it, and I'll show you how I put it on. Just, I don't know if you can see up there, but you know where the 1/4 inch rod was, you just hook it in the end of one of the things. There, like that. Yeah, that pulls it down now quite well. Push, you can open it. See, it's just, you probably can't see. It hooks into the end of the tubular piece there. Just loops underneath to the other side. So there you can see it stretched across, look. You see it's just hooked into the metal piece there. So that took all of about 5 minutes, and that's been sort of, you know, if that. I'm one of these that if something does a job okay and you can do it quick and easy and cheap, just do it quick, easy and cheap. This isn't a, you know, straight rod. It's just an old car at the end of the day. It's an old car. It hasn't run for a while. I suppose it would probably be a good idea to start it up, wouldn't it? Should do a quick start up as well. can't remember when it last run. It wasn't, you know, long ago. It was a couple of months maybe or something. That fan bar don't look very good. Look at it there. I'm sure it'll do. It'll do. I'll have a look at changing it at some point now. Okay, let's see if it'll start. This is the little primer fuel pump here, the SU fuel pump. So you'll hear that running first, and you might see the fuel come up there. Neutral, ignition on, prime. Can you see fuel coming up that thing? Okay, that's filled the float bowl now, so it shouldn't take a lot of starting. Oh, I ain't got a choke on this. Well, it went. I don't think the battery sounded great, so I'll probably I might swap the battery with that new one I just put on the Thunderbird, because last time I ran at this event, which is the GOW event, the VHRA GOW event at Prescott, I was in the Roadster and I started suffering with a flat battery, so it would be a good idea to have a good battery on it. And put the electric fan on as well. It's also had problems with getting hot. It's a good little trick. I'm trying to put this cable tie in there, like that, and get it to come out the other one there. So what I've got is another cable tie. So I'm going to put that like that in there. I'm going to put that down there like that. Can you see that it's in it? And I'm going to pull this. There you go. It's quite handy that, isn't it? This is my electric fan installation. It's only classed really as a temporary installation because it's just held in with cable ties, but it does the job. Another cudge up at Mart's. Make sure your bodgery is of the highest standard. It's very close to the hub on that Lucas dynamo, but if the worst comes to the worst, it'll just wear through the plastic things there. And it'll probably go a bit lower after it's been driven around a bit. Okay, so I'm going to cut all those loose tags off there with my garden secateurs because they make a good flush cutter. Okay, I'll bring you back tomorrow when I'm ready to go to the event. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, that's got two of them out. Two of the last three. Now this one's still got crown all the way around, so I've got to still I'll see if I can get it to move with that chisel. I think the chisel's a bit more sort of solid. Just out by and crack the bore.